Earth was burning. The sky was covered by the shadows of massive warships, raining death upon the planet's surface. Cities had turned to ash. Military lines had crumbled one by one. Humanity was facing the greatest catastrophe in its history. But this was not the beginning of the end. Deep within the High Command Center, General Elias Vance stared at the holographic map. The screen, filled with red lights, showed the lost territories. There was only one chance left before the final defense lines collapsed. Dr. Helen Carter, the scientist standing beside him, spoke in a trembling voice. "General, we have no choice but to activate Protocol Omega." Vance frowned. Protocol Omega, humanity's greatest secret. If things had come to this, there was no turning back. He placed his hand on the table and took a deep breath. "If we activate that thing, the entire galaxy will see humanity's true nature." Helen nodded. "If we don't do it now, we never will." General Vance turned to Dr. Carter. "We have to do this." Dr. Carter quickly moved to the terminal, placed her hand on the biometric scanner, and gave a silent confirmation. Red lights flashed in the dark room. On the terminal screen, the words, "Protocol Omega activating" appeared. The truth, kept as a secret throughout all of human history, was about to be revealed. Humans were the descendants of a forgotten warrior race in this galaxy. Deep within underground complexes, massive chambers that had been sealed for centuries began to open. Unknown forces, buried beneath the surface for millennia, awakened. The instinct for war, embedded within human DNA, was unleashed. Once erased memories resurfaced in human minds one by one. Martial arts, intuitive tactics, superhuman reflexes. Humanity was reclaiming its forgotten heritage. The first effects were felt instantly. Soldiers on the front lines could anticipate the enemy's every move, their reflexes and physical capabilities increasing exponentially. They performed maneuvers that even highly trained warriors couldn't, shifting the balance of battle in an instant. But this was just the beginning. Changes in the human body accelerated. At first, small details became noticeable. Soldiers could sense incoming attacks seconds before they happened, moving in perfect coordination without speaking. But this was just the surface. On the battlefield, humans became increasingly intuitive. They could feel the enemy's intent. Complex war strategies flowed into their minds as if by instinct. Soldiers with no formal training executed advanced tactics flawlessly. Then the first real transformation occurred. Lieutenant Alvarez suddenly sensed that an enemy sniper had targeted him. He instinctively ducked, just as a lethal energy bolt passed inches above his head. But that wasn't all. Alvarez saw the sniper's exact location, as if the universe itself was whispering the information to him. "I saw it," he whispered. "I felt where he was." And this wasn't just happening to Alvarez. It was happening to all of them. Humanity was evolving into mental warriors. Weapons and technology were no longer their only advantage. Humans could now communicate in silence, forming telepathic connections on the battlefield, predicting every enemy move before it happened. The most complex strategies were devised and executed within seconds. The enemy struggled to comprehend what they were facing. On the battlefield, humans had become nearly invincible. But there was a problem. What was the cost of this power? Could the human mind and body handle such an overwhelming transformation? Or were they slowly becoming something else? Humanity's evolution echoed across the galaxy. The other species, once allies, began to fear them. Humanity was no longer just a military force. It had become an entity that could reshape the fate of the galaxy. At first, the great civilizations dismissed the change. "It's just an advanced combat technique," they said. "Humans may have improved, but they are still mortal." But then, they realized something terrifying. Every war within months ended in a human victory. The United Zelnari fleet faced humans for the first time. The Zelnari, renowned for their tactical brilliance, had once brought empires to their knees. But now, their every move was anticipated, their fleet encircled before they could react. The battle lasted only 12 hours. For the first time in history, the Zelnari Emperor lost. Panic spread across the galaxy. At first, the major civilizations tried to ally with humanity. Diplomatic meetings were held, treaties signed. But the truth was evident. Humanity's evolution was ongoing, and sooner or later, they would become the dominant species. Thus, the Imperial Council made a decision. Humanity must be exterminated. For the first time in history, 8 great civilizations united under a single goal: to stop humanity's rise. A galactic purge fleet, composed of millions of warships, set course for Earth. Everyone believed that humanity was about to face its first and final mistake. But humans were already prepared. The enemy hadn't noticed, but humans weren't just evolving in battle. They were evolving in space as well. Strategies were flawless. Before the enemy fleets even arrived, traps had been laid, plans seamlessly shared. Humanity was no longer a collection of nations. It was one mind. And when the war began, the galaxy witnessed true horror. The galactic purge fleet reached human systems without resistance. Earth, Mars, Titan, and the colonies. All were silent. Enemy admirals hesitated. Was this a trap? Or had the humans fled? Then, the signals came. At first, they seemed meaningless. Images, frequency waves, incoherent data streams. Until Zelnari cryptographers deciphered them. They weren't signals. They were human thoughts. Humans were no longer individuals. They had merged. With machines, with AI, with their own evolution. They had become a higher consciousness. Every human was now part of something greater. The war ended before it even started. The Purge fleet managed to fire upon Earth just before rebellion erupted among their own ranks. But as their energy lances reached the atmosphere, they simply vanished. No explosion, no energy signature, just an instant erasure from existence. The galaxy was in panic. No one knew what had happened. But one truth was certain. Humans were no longer human. As the galaxy watched in silence, humanity began to leave. Their cities dimmed, their megastructures slowly turned transparent. The whispers in the atmosphere were the last echoes of human thought. Observation drones reported no movement in human colonies. Titan's great factories stood still. The lunar base was abandoned. Earth's orbital stations were silent. Then, all human-made structures simply vanished, as if they had never existed. But they hadn't died. Human consciousness had transcended their physical forms. They had become pure energy, pure thought, beyond time, beyond space. They saw the fabric of reality, the spaces between atoms, the folds of dimensions. And they made a decision to leave the universe. This universe was no longer theirs. The Zelnari Council received humanity's final message. We are gone, but you remain. We were not alone in the universe, and neither are you. One day you will understand us, but for now, farewell. The message spread across the galaxy faster than light, and then, nothing. Humanity had departed, but their presence was felt everywhere, and every species that remained would never forget what they had become.